Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining me. My name is Drew, you're you. This is the Goulet Pen Company, and we sell pens here, and we also sell ink here, and we also sell paper. However, paper is not usually the thing that I talk to you about here, but that happens to be the first thing we're going to talk about today because Clairefontaine has released a pretty unique notebook for $6. This is the Clairefontaine paper that we know and love. It's 90 grams, it writes great, it is lined, but it is 100% recycled. It is not just the paper, it is not just the cover, it's the whole thing. The cover, the paper, it is all recycled. And yeah, cool, that is a thing that exists elsewhere, sure, yes, but it's fountain pen friendly. I've used it, I've tested it with a number of different inks, with a number of different nibs and pens, and it works great. It works really well. Probably because it's recycled from Clairefontaine paper, but still, it's likely that they are taking what, waste they used to have and make it no longer waste. Either way, it's energy efficient, it's environmentally conscious, and it's fountain pen friendly, and it's affordable. Again, at just $6. So you can read more about it on our website. We've got all of the products I'll be talking to you about today linked in the description below, so you can check that out. They're just calling this the Forever Recycled Notebook. And this one is staple bound. They come in a variety of colors. We've got red, orange, blue, gray, and green. This one is the red one, the brick red here. And again, it's 100% recycled and fountain pen friendly. Two of those things coming together that I have not yet seen come together, so I'm pretty jazzed about it. Maybe you are too. You can pick those up now because they are available, as should be everything else we're going to talk about, unless they're sold out by the time this video publishes. But let's move on to some ink, some Ferris Wheel Press ink. This is another Fairy Tales edition of Ferris Wheel Press's ink. This is called Emerald Gardens, and yes, it is green, as it should be. It's not just any green, of course. It is a Fairy Tales ink, so it's going to have a lot going on with it. From what the box tells me, it has a green base with red sheen and green gold shimmer. So this is a duotone shimmer in this ink. I did have the opportunity to test it. I will show you some images. It looks fun, it's lovely, and interesting. So this is a 20 milliliter bottle for $20. Available now from Ferris Wheel Press. If you are interested, again, click below, read more, see more. And another ink, another couple of inks, several, in fact. A new brand, kind of. So Endless makes notebooks, they also make pens, but they have yet to make ink until now. So here I have the Ink Alchemy collection. We have Drops of Mars, which is red. We have, let's see, Candy Sea, which is blue, Mystic Forest, which is green, and Wizard's Pencil, which is gray. And these are big boxes, as you can see here. But most interesting is what's inside the bottle, of course. And the colors are lovely. They're fun colors, nothing too crazy, but all beautiful, nice, rich colors. You know what? Let me get a close-up view of this, because there's some interesting stuff in here. First of all, we have an ink swatch card that it comes with right up top, so you can get your color there. It's an absorbent little card here, as well as some information about the products. If you open up the bottle though, you'll see that this comes with some stuff that you just don't normally see in other ink bottles. So you've got the cap being packaged separate, which is uncommon to say the least. And then the actual bottle itself has below it a nice cork coaster. Why would it have a cork coaster, you might ask? Well, when you take a look at the bottle, you will see. Because the bottle is quite an unconventional shape. One might even say unruly, but it's not unruly when it's on that. So when it's on that, you can position it so it stays nice and still. When it's on the desk, there's some movement involved. So I do not recommend trying to fill it with that happening. This definitely stabilizes it. So you can get your business done there. It is certainly unique, certainly interesting, and all the bottles are going to look like this. All the bottles are going to come with a coaster. Got a little Endless logo there. And all of the bottles are going to be shipped with this rubber plug in it. And then you will then replace the rubber plug with the actual cap. This is just meant to create an indestructible, perfect, unstoppable stopper. So this is what it'll arrive in. You can pop this off, discard it. I believe you can actually screw this on with that still there. What is it? I think it has some information here. Yes. Every fountain pen ink is sealed with a removable travel seal. Kindly use the wipe to secure it, to open it securely. Oh, look at that. It provides you with a little napkin so that you don't get your fingers all messy when you do remove said stopper. So certainly interesting. I tell you, I don't think that since Ferris Wheel Press, we've had an ink company present so well. I think probably Colorverse came along and really shook things up, and then Ferris Wheel Press kicked it up a notch, and then these bottles are just something else entirely. So fascinating, interesting. It is a new brand as far as ink is concerned for us, so I'm really curious to see what you think. If you have actually used one of these, I'd be really interested in your thoughts there, because I've had the opportunity to swab them up and display them for you on our website, but I haven't yet put them in a pen. So their performance is actually a bit of a question mark for me right now, but they certainly look lovely and they present nicely, and I would think that these would make a pretty good gift as far as just that initial wow factor is concerned, at least. A more subtle ink display situation would be Robert Oster. Robert Oster is not trying to win any design awards with his bottles, but the inks themselves get the job done. And I forgot to mention, these Alchemy bottles are surprisingly affordable at just $20. So with all you're getting and a solid amount of ink, which happens to be 60 milliliters, $20 for one of these boxes of the 4 colors: Drops of Mars, Wizard's Pencil, Mystic Forest, and Candy C. Going back to Robert Oster, like I tried to do. These are a little bit more, well, expensive and not expensive. So we're looking at 3 inks today. We've got Sepia Nights. I'll show you an image there. We've got Steely Dawn. Look at that. And then we've got Silver Dawn. Oh, no, sorry, Steely Days, not Steely Dawn. I keep wanting to say Steely Dan, so Steely Dawn pops in there. Steely Days, Silver Dawn. Silver Dawn is $26 because it is a shake and shimmy ink, meaning shimmer, silver. So it's got a lot of silver shimmer in it. It looks lovely. It's a lot of fun. And then Sepia Nights and Steely Days are both standard inks. No shimmer, no craziness going on there. Just 2 very lovely inks. I particularly love Sepia Nights. It's a very, very, very dark brown, and I think that's fun. It's one of those inks that you can use anywhere because it's so dark it's almost black, but it's not black. Not quite. But it has the application of black, if you know what I'm saying. So I enjoy these quite a bit. The standard inks are only going to be $18. 26, 18. Shimmer, no shimmer. Available now. Check those out. Robert Oster makes great inks. And honestly, as far as durability goes, the plastic bottles, you can't really go wrong with those. And I love long, skinny bottles like this because you can fill from them for quite a ways, as long as you don't mind getting your fingers a little inky, because you do have to go deeper and deeper. But with the more shallow, wider bottles, they just deplete in a different way that I find less effective. So I am a fan of this bottle. As conservative as it may be, I think it works. Okay, it's time to look at some pens now. And the first pen we're going to look at, are some funky ones. Some literal funky pens. And let's take a moment to unbox these. Okay, I have opened them up. We're going to talk about the Diplomat Traveler. Now, the Traveler is not a pen from Diplomat that we have talked about a lot here. We talked about the Arrow, we talked about the Nexus, but the Magnum is another popular one. The Traveler often travels under the radar, but we've got some new colors that are worthy of expression. These are called the funky bunch, or the funky colors at least, but I'm just going to call it the funky bunch. We have here funky petrol, and this is a little bit of a prismatic situation. It's hard to capture on the phone, but rest assured our photography will do the job. Funky purple, funky blue, and funky green. Sorry, no, this is funky fuchsia, not just funky purple. I wonder if you can see the difference between these two if I hold them up. It just kind of looks like light purple. The petrol does have an iridescence to it. It's not like as stark as some of the iridescent purples that I've seen, but you do get a little bit of a green sheen here and there. So these are all aluminum pens, or brass pens. This is brass. Yeah, brass. They are lightweight. They're very thin, very lightweight. We've got a plastic grip section, and then brass barrel here. And then we've got a included cartridge. This is just a filler. This is not a cartridge. It's just a spacer. But we do have a cartridge here in the back. There we go. Look at that. So that's just going to hang out back there. These will also work with a standard international converter as well. And on the business end here, you have a JoWo Steel No. 5 nib, which is consistent, friendly, with a nice Diplomat insignia right there on the face of the nib. So those work, they work well. Do they post? Here's the question, because Diplomat travelers have been, there we go, this posts just fine. Sometimes the Traveler has been a little funky with posting, but funky in a good way today. That's a very nice capping sensation. You've got some resistance here and then a really, really solid cap. A lot of snap caps have a tendency to twist. This one, like I'm putting some effort here and this cap is not spinning particularly freely. Like I could really crank it and get it to spin, but it's a solid, solid cap. And let's see if, let's test for consistency. That one's also solid. Yep, very good. So I can say all these are manufactured consistently, which is what I would expect from a German brand like Diplomat. They know how to make a good pen. You've got their insignia right there up at the cabochon as well. You've got a steel clip. It's not spring-loaded, but it does have a nice tension to it. You've got a little cutout there, kind of in the shape of a drop, which is another symbol of the Diplomat marketing situation. And all four colors are very striking. I think they look really nice. And you can pick up one of these at just $92. So the packaging is pretty decent as well. You've got a little foam home for it. You've got a international guarantee certificate. And there we go. Link your emotions. So be my guest. Link away. Again, the Diplomat Traveler in funky colors. Funky petrol, funky fuchsia, funky blue, funky green. Available now. Should you want it or be curious to learn more, check out the website. Lots of good information there and lots of great pictures as well. In fact, as I'm recording this, Glenn is right there through that door snapping some funky pics for y'all to see some funky pens. All right, this is big, y'all. Not something that happens every day. Kaweco came out with a new pen. Kaweco came out with a piston pen. Yes, an internal piston pen by Kaweco. Kaweco. I've always jumped back and forth between that. I say JoWo because that's how you say it, Johann and Wolfgang from Germany. So why in the world would I not say Kaweco? They're both German brands. They both have a W in them, and you're supposed to say the V. So, but I still find myself always saying JoWo, and then Kaweco. I'm not as consistent on that, but I try. It comes in a 10, so that's nice. And we've got some booklets here. This set is $175. It comes with a pen and it comes with an ink. There is also a set that is packaged identically that just comes with a pen with no ink. That's $10 less. This set probably won't be around forever, but we have a good amount of them now, so you know, we'll see. But again, it's just $10, so it's not like the end of the world if you don't get the ink. The ink is just some sort of a Kaweco Royal Blue. So interesting. All right, let's look at the pen. The piston version of the Kaweco Sport has been long anticipated and long desired, and heavily, heavily rumored for quite a while as well. So you might say, this looks like an aluminum pen, Drew. It is an aluminum pen. They didn't call it an all sport specifically like they normally do with all of their aluminum pens, but it kind of should have been because it's definitely aluminum, which makes sense because we're talking $165 pen here. So yes, that's a good thing that it's aluminum. So definitely not resin. You can see that it does have that trademark soft aluminum texture as the other Kaweco All Sports happen to have. And then you do see Kaweco Sport right there engraved onto the side of one of the facets. This clip is an integrated clip. Kaweco previously has had like tension mounted clips available as an add-on for this style of pen. You just slide them on here and they're not, you know, they're fine, but this is absolutely integrated, so no worries about it falling off or sliding off. And you'll see a little trim ring here, which is not something Kaweco usually has. You do usually see a little indent here on the other All Sports, but this one we've got a trim ring, and that is for good reason. Again, we've got a pretty similar and familiar shape. We've got the same small little steel nib there, made in Germany, but then we've got an ink window, which tells us it's a piston. And to operate the piston, you have to remove the blind cap. And yes, it does have a blind cap. And I will say, this thing's a little slippery. So this isn't a slick metal, but it's kind of soft to the point where it is a little slippery. And I have dropped the blind cap here a number of times. So just be aware, if you happen to grab one of these things, hold on to the blind cap, because if you lose this, it's just not going to look right. So you have to remove the blind cap to have access to the piston knob. You've got this beautiful detail of the Kaweco medallion embedded right there in the back of the knob. And the knob itself happens to operate the internal piston mechanism, which is extremely smooth. In there you see a double-walled gasket that passes through the smoke ink window there. So that's nice to see. And again, this is super smooth. I'm meeting no resistance twisting this thing, which is just delightful. This appears to be the smallest, most narrow internal piston pen that I have encountered. I could be wrong about that, but from what I've seen, this is it. So you will have a massive capacity compared to other Kaweco pens. And then it is, of course, postable to give you the full length of, you know, the All Sport, like the way it would be if it was, you know, one of their normal situations. And the aluminum is nice and light. It is not a heavy pen, but it's about as heavy as you would want it to be for such a small pen. It doesn't feel like you're writing with something fragile or like petite in such a way that you have to be conscious of its care and happiness. Like, no, this is going to be a workhorse. I feel like this is built really, really well, and my goodness, it's such a in-demand pen, and it has been for quite a while, and it's really just thrilling to see Kaweco finally being able to do it. So now, yeah, I just accidentally kind of twisted this the wrong way, and you can feel that the knob did come out, so hopefully I can rethread it there. Okay. So don't twist this way and accidentally unthread and get the knob stuck there in the back. We don't want to do that. So just pull and push when you're posting, or twist to the right. Don't twist to the left. I don't know. Hopefully if you did get it stuck, you'd just be able to do what I did and stick that in and rethread it. But just, we want to be safe. Just pull it off or twist off to the right. So there's a tip for you that I didn't know I was going to give you, because I'd never seen that happen before. It's a brand new pen. Just got them in yesterday, but when this video airs, they will be available unless they've sold out. Y'all, these are pretty high in demand. There's a little hole here too, so I don't know is that what that's for? It's a little wobbly, I don't know. Like I said, these are in pretty high demand, so we might not have them all by the time you see this video, but rest assured, we will be reordering and reordering and reordering for as long as we can, for as long as you want them. So If they're not in stock when you see this video and you do want one, you can put your email in the notify me section of the product page, and we will do just that. As soon as they're back in stock, you will be notified via email, and we'll say, hey, Tim, your Kaweco's in stock, come buy it. I don't know if Tim really wants one of these, but if you happen to be Tim wanting a Kaweco, I'm talking to you, buddy. All right. That is almost it. We've got 2 more pens to talk about. We're going to move on. We're going to move on to a pen by Schon Design out of Philadelphia. The Schon Pocket 6 is a really lovely pen. We have showcased that here before, but we have not taken a look at a faceted version. So we're going to do that right here. This finish, this anodized finish, is called Bismuth Crystal, and it is absolutely freaking gorgeous, y'all. Absolutely stunning. Let me show you a second one here, just to get across the kind of insane variation that you'll see. So these are both the same pen. Yes, I know they're quite different, but that is the nature of the anodization process. These are both from the same batch, and you will see a wild variety. You could get one that's more blue-green, you could get one that's more purple, or you get one that's somewhere in between these two. But we do have a bunch of pictures on the website, so you can see a nice plethora of a bunch of random patterns, but your pen will be unique, and it will be lovely, because honestly, both of these look freaking rad, so you're not gonna be disappointed. But let's just take a moment and appreciate the facets here. Look at what Ian Schon has done. These facets are fascinating to me, because at first glance, they look quite uniform, but then you really start paying attention and they look kind of random. And then they start looking a little more uniform, and I don't even know. But they catch the light beautifully, and they really make the already exciting colors pop even more. These are called the Pocket 6 because it's a pocket pen with a standard size number 6 nib. This happens to be the shortest pen that we carry currently, but as you can see, when you post it using the threaded back end of the pen, it becomes quite a full-size pen. So when it's capped, it is the shortest pen that we have. And when it's posted, you get a full-size thing. Hence, Pocket 6. So the number 6 size nib referenced in the name of the pen is a German steel number 6 nib made by Jovo. And again, you've got a threaded back end to create your full-size situation. This does take a standard cartridge, which it will come with. Not in here, but it does take a cartridge. And then, more interestingly, we started carrying something a little bit more experimental, and that you can see here. So same pen, yeah, but where this pen happens to be $260. Again, this is handmade, not handmade, but machined in Philadelphia by Ian in his workshop with his small team. So definitely small business, local business, if you happen to be in the US, even more local if you have to be in Philadelphia or the East Coast. This is really what I wanted to talk to you about, though. This is something brand new for us. This is Ian Schon's Monoc Nib attached to a faceted Pocket 6 in Bismuth Crystal. And there it is. So this nib is unlike any nib out there. It is made from one solid piece of titanium, and it is truly unique. So this is a whopper of a nib at a whopper of a price. So just this pen, it's the same pen that would normally be $260. With this Monoc nib, it is all the way up at $645. And yeah, that is crazy. But let me just tell you a little bit about this nib. Like I said, it is machined out of one solid piece of titanium. It is an original design that's never been used before, and you'll see the amber color feed there, which is made out of Ultem. Again, not a common thing. So if you have been using fountain pens for a while, and you've seen 100 different feeds, 100 different nibs, this is going to be interesting to you. Just visually, like seeing something this new, something this unique, this original, is just kind of a, wait, what? Tell me more sort of moment. So, and that's really why he did it. It performs really well. It does not have any flex or anything. It doesn't have any sort of miraculous performance qualities other than the fact that it writes really, really well and really, really consistent. But it's just a fascinating original design that Schon wanted to create. And here you have the nib in its entirety. And this is the Monoc Nib all together. This, again, one solid piece, machined in Philadelphia. The nib, the feed, and the housing are all one unit. So you see that it is curved up a little bit. It does not have any tipping material, so you've just got titanium up there, but obviously it's titanium, so that's going to be just fine. Ian put a little star in there just for fun, because that's really what this nib is. It is just for fun. And yes, it's an expensive bit of fun, but if you like it, you like it. And that's really what it comes down to with fountain pens in general. It just, whatever speaks to you, it's available if you want it. That's how much it costs to make, though. These are not easy to make. They're complicated, they're detailed, and there's a lot of precision that needs to go in to these manufacturing. So that is the Monoc Nib. And if you'd like to learn more about that, I will make sure that Ian's video gets linked down below. You can also visit his website to learn more. But these are available on our website, and they are currently installed on the faceted Pocket 6 in Bismuth crystal. The Monoc Nibs also come with this handy tool. This syringe is fitted with a piece that Ian designed to attach right to the back of the Monoc Nib so you can flush it very quickly and easily. One thing to shout out, though, is that there are few places in the world that manufacture a pen, a nib, and a feed all in the same physical building. Like, it's not many. It might be like, it's probably less than 10. And I don't think any of them do that in the United States. I think that Ian is the only person that's able to do that. Pen, nib, and feed. So this Monoc, there's nothing about this pen that didn't come from Philadelphia. So that's kind of amazing. So hats off to Ian for that. Again, check him out on the website if you'd like to learn more. Ian's got a lot of promotional material and education material for you in regards to the Monoc Nib. We featured it on this week's Pencast as well, so you can check that out also. Montegrappa, our final pen for the day. This is an Elmo 01 in Deep Sea. So the Elmo 01 is a nice, lovely, rounded pen. And this is Montegrappa's color, by the way. Don't know if you knew that. This interesting green, Montegrappa green. And it's a fascinating box. Beautiful Monteverde logos here. And then once you open it, you see your I said Monteverde. I meant Montegrappa. It is Montegrappa, not Monteverde. You'll see your Montegrappa cartridges, and then you'll see your bag with your pen. And here we are, Deep Sea. This is a pen exclusive to the Goulet Pen Company right now, and it's gorgeous. It has green, it has blue, it has purple, and it has shimmer. It is really a stunning pen, and there's just a lot of gorgeous things happening in the material. You could call it Deep Sea, but I think you could also easily call it something spacey. So you don't need to be married to the whole sea theme to enjoy what this pen looks like. If you have a celestial interest, then this pen might work for you as well. So it has the familiar Jowo steel nib that is rhodium plated, something unique to Montegrappa, something that I really personally love, and a beautiful engraving as well, imprint. This is a standard international converter / cartridge pen, since you saw those cartridges already available there. This resin is made by the Turnt Pen Company, and it's a beautiful one. So, but this resin on this pen is exclusive to us for the time being, at least, and it's available now for the price of $316. And let's see, does it post? I always forget about that. Yeah, you can make that work. It posts. And there we have it. The Jowo steel nibs are pretty familiar. It writes really well. I think that my favorite thing about these, though, is the fact that Montegrappa goes out of their way to rhodium plate them, so they don't have that steel look. Like, granted, steel can look very shiny, But when it's plated in rhodium, it doesn't look any different than gold plated in rhodium. It has that shine that is usually reserved for gold nibs just because of the plating process. So I really like that. It adds an extra bit of flair that I appreciate. And I know I've said this before, but still true. So there we have the Montegrappa Deep Sea Elmo 01. There's an Elmo 02 as well, just in case you're curious, but we're doing the 01, and that's 316. And that about wraps it up for today, everybody. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you had something today spark your interest. If you'd like to learn more, we've got a ton of great photos and information and measurements on our website. If you needed to know how much, how tall or wide one of these pens are, we've got you covered. So go to the website, go to the technical specs category, and read about all of the fun details that Cystal measures every time we get a new pen in. So we do our work so that you don't have to. Thank you. Have fun. Right on.